Hey cinephiles, welcome to another exciting edition of Instant Trailer Review. Today we're looking at Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Yes, the sequel to the 2005 Robert Rodriguez film, which was actually quite revolutionary at the time because if you ever watched the behind the scenes of Sin City, the first one, Robert shot a lot of these actors against green screen, not even in the same room with each other. He shot like 6 actors all on different days and combined it all together in editing. So that was actually like a really big deal at the time because no one had ever really done that before.
And sometimes it really looks and feels that way.
Yeah.
So you just have to be on board for what this movie's going for. And it's trying to create that graphic novel feel.
Yeah.
In a motion picture.
So for a long time, the sequel was sort of delayed because Angelina Jolie was supposed to play the Ava Lord character, who's now played by Ava Green, I believe. Yeah.
Ava Green. Yeah.
From Casino Royale. But now they finally have a sequel, and here's the trailer, and we're going to go into it.
And it's interesting that this should come out the same year as the sequel, or the whatever the spinoff of 300 is, because these are both
Frank
movies
Miller.
that are like seven years too late as well.
Basically.
Because, I mean, those movies were both big deals when they came out in 2005 and 2006, but they waited until 2014 to actually come out.
So we have a shot of Nancy, played by Jessica Alba here. Now, according to Wikipedia, what we read is that there's supposed to be 4 different stories, and one of them involves Nancy sort of sad and depressed over the loss of her lover slash older man boyfriend, Hardigan, played by Bruce Willis.
Yeah. So this is the fat loss. That's that storyline that seems to be going on.
And then in classic Sin City tale, you know, everyone's got guns, and I love the film noir, black and white, over the top angles, and everyone's just suspicious of each other.
The shadows alone in this are just so exciting to look at, and just like all the details, like up there looking down at him in the window, and what's going on with Ray Liotta's eyes.
Yeah, it's, Ray Liotta's in this. I mean, there's a big cast, and I assume it's the same tactic that Robert Rodriguez had, is which let's get a lot of big celebrities, shoot them for one day in a green screen, and then just composite it later.
And Josh Brolin, he's actually taking over the Clive Owen role.
Yes,
from
the
first
character's
movie.
name is Dwight, and if anyone's read the books, you know that he gets plastic surgery. It's not a spoiler or anything, because it's mentioned in the first movie. So he gets plastic surgery to look different. So it actually does fit. They have 2 different actors.
That's how they can explain away the recast. And there's actually several people who have been recast. Michael Clark Duncan unfortunately passed away, so he couldn't reprise his role. But yeah, we'll see some more as we go through this. So yeah.
We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in this now, and he wasn't in the first one. And he's playing a character who's a gambler named Johnny.
And that's apparently going to be one of the new storylines that's not from the comics, or the graphic novels, I should say.
And one thing about Sin City is always an interesting use of color. I mean, it's in black and white, but then there's certain elements are in blue, or certain lips are red, or there's the character of That Yellow Bastard who is yellow.
So Sin City and Schindler's List both have that in common. Interesting. So yeah, so much of...
And we see Bruce Willis over here, who died in the other one. And so what I read is that there's going to be some prequel moments in this where we kind of go back and forth in time.
So is this actually a scene from the original Sin City, or do you think they
I don't
brought
think
Bruce
this is
Willis
from
in?
the original. And actually, if you look in the corner here, this poster, it says Booze, Broads, and Bullets. It's kind of blocked, but this is actually the cover to one of the other books that has a series of short stories. Let's see. And then we have gamblers, prostitutes, corrupt politicians, and I believe this is Christopher Lloyd right here. This is Doc Brown. I'm kind of shocked that he would be in this movie.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt showing up at his door. Apparently, he's really desperate.
And everyone just lives in like this kind of poverty, basically. Yeah. It's a very run-down Las Vegas kind of feel city.
It really lives up to its name.
And in the comics, it's actually the reason it's called Sin City is short for Bazin City, or like a basin. And then that's so we have who is this? Ava Green playing a character named Ava Lord, who's the lover of Josh Brolin's character Dwight. And that's sort of the main storyline, I think, the biggest storyline. She is the dame to kill for, because she's supposed to be this amazing woman.
And she absolutely is. I can tell you that right now. I have a thing. There's people who, I mean, it's been, what, 9 years since the first movie?
Yeah.
However, people who haven't read the graphic novels, are they going to be completely lost? I feel like the movie theater needs to give us like a character chart.
It's true. I mean, if you saw this movie, 9 years ago, I feel like you're a different demographic, because I think this movie is kind of appealing to like 13 to 22-year-olds, and those guys aren't really that age anymore. I mean, maybe it's appealing to a different age group now, but if you read the graphic novels in the 90s, like there's a span of 20 years to these stories. Wow. And so the audience is kind of all over the place, I think, at this point.
Sure.
So here we have a shot of what I'm assuming is Josh Brolin just sitting in a chair doing this.
Or like falling down an elevator shaft. I don't know.
That looks very like, green screeny.
It looks like David O. Russell driving that car, but I'm sure it's not. So yeah, if you're on board for the visual style, these things won't bother you. And because I'm such a... Oh, if you want to go back to that, that's actually, I believe, Dennis Haysbert from 24 fame, who's going to be playing the Michael Clark Duncan role.
Yeah. So everything is, shadows and silhouettes. And
I love when they do the white over black.
So this trailer specifically shows everything very fast. So, I mean, you don't see much, and you don't really get that much sense of story. But if you know Sin City, you know who these characters are. And then here's all the celebrities who are going to be in this. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke comes back as Marv, who I believe died in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he comes back.
Stacy Keach, I mean, that's exciting. I just love seeing... These are actors that you normally would never see together in a movie.
And here's Ava Green again.
Who's also in the 300 film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's been part of both of these Frank Miller franchises. And her green eyes, that's a really nice touch as well. So I'm kind of thinking that Johnny, this Joseph Gordon-Levitt character, might sort of be like the bookends and like the running thread throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, I believe Josh Hartnett had a similar role like that in the last one.
So there you go. Not in 3D, at least not that we've been able to see. And this is actually a movie, people don't normally say this, but I would love to see this in 3D. I think that would go along with the visuals hand in hand.
Yeah. So Robert Rodriguez as a director, I mean, he hasn't really done too much like in the last decade. I mean, he's done, he did his Spy Kids movies, but he's coming back with something.
Well,
so
he's been working on the Machete stuff.
Yeah, the Machete stuff, But like the box office wise, those weren't that big.
No,
so that's why they weren't like, this is probably going to blow up the box office the same way as the other Sin City did.
Yeah.
So Frank Miller always has something in the movies that's worth seeing.
Yeah. So August 22nd, it's really interesting actually to see the little Miramax logo. We haven't seen that in movies for probably 5 years or so, and it's because this one has been so long in the development process. I mean, so that's kind of cool to see Miramax coming back. You won't see that often.
So yeah, to conclude, I'm excited for Sin City 2 if it's as good as the books. It's just been a long time since the last Sin City, so I hope it's just as interesting.
Yeah, it was one of my most anticipated films of 2013, but it got pushed back, so I'm still very eager to see it. I love the first film. So for Movie Clips, I'm JS.
And I'm David.
Thanks for watching.